You have all my love. Welcome to Wise Guitar Lessons, and this is a full breakdown of Watch Your Mouth by Josiah Queen on the acoustic guitar. Make sure before we begin, go down below, grab those free chord charts, and hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like the full playthrough, you can catch it right here. And without further ado, let's get into it. Let's begin by breaking down another banger from Josiah Queen. So this song is in the key of C major, and I'll show you how to play it without a capo. And so it's 4 chords you'll need, and those 4 chords are C major. You'll then need a G major. You'll need an A minor. And the trickiest of all, in every beginner's worst nightmare, is the F. But beginners, notice how I'm doing this F chord. You can cheat and do this F chord, which is essentially a C major, but dropping down the middle finger, string, then replacing it with your pinky. But if you want, any pro out there can do a full F chord. Don't let me stop you there. So those 4 chords are the chords to this entire song. And now let's discuss the real part, the strumming. So this song is 130 BPM. So it's not super quick, but it's still pretty quick. And it's in 4/4 timing, just like a majority of all Christian music. And so you have a few options for strumming. So this song is a little more freehand than a lot of his other stuff. And so what I mean by that is, the first one you'll need, which is just 1 down strum. You only strum though when it's a chord change. So you'll see this pop up in the chorus part where it's the watch your mouth part. It's each chord change you're going to strum. So it's watch your mouth, boy. Don't go talk like that, boy. I can't sing, but that just shows you the idea there. So that's the first thing you'll need. The second one, the one you'll hear mainly in the chorus, is doing down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And so you're essentially almost doing 8th notes. You're doing a quarter note to 16th notes, quarter note, 16th. And you're just repeating that, so. In the variation, which I do in the playthrough, so check out my playthrough, is more freehand than everything else, but it's doing essentially. So you're doing essentially down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's the main point to get here is making sure that first down strum is on each beat, so you're kind of doing 16th notes in a way, but it's super quick, but it also just really makes a song, so you're just doing. And that's what I mainly do, but play along with my playthrough to really get the feel for that one, but that's probably my favorite out of the bunch personally. If you can't do any of those 2 that I just showed you, you can honestly just also do 4 down strums, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Just the main idea is you want the strumming pattern to always land on each beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 strumming patterns. Let's now talk about the progressions. So now on to the part that lets you play the song, and that's the progressions. So I'm going to break each progression down into little building blocks, and then at the very end, I'll build it into each part so that you can rock on to this song. So progression A is going to be C for a measure, C for a half, G for a half, to A minor for a measure, to A minor for a half, G for a half, to F for a measure. And then you're going to have a measure of just blank. So take a rest for a measure. Progression A, whenever you see that, always remember that is where you're going to do the 1 down strum for each chord change. And that's always going to be the part where he's talking about watch your mouth. And so it's going to be Then rest. Progression B is then going to be C for 4 measures, to A minor for 2 measures, to F for a measure. Then you're going to have another rest or measure of nothing. And that's where you're going to strum, so don't confuse that with progression A. Progression C is then going to be C major for 2 measures, A minor for 2 measures, to F for a measure. And you're always going to strum there too. Progression D is then going to be C for a measure to G for a measure, and you're always going to strum there as well. And then the final progression, progression E, is going to be A minor for half, G for half, F for a full measure. And that's where you're really going to also do the every chord change down strum. And so that's always going to be the little tag or final bit of the chorus. So just remember that. Remember A and E are all down strums on each chord change, then everything else is full out strumming. So now let's break it down and put them all together for you. So the intro is essentially a little chorus, and it's just doing progression A. So he's going to open with I accidentally did a extra down strum there on the C, so make sure you don't do that. But it's doing progression A. In the verses, you're then doing progression B 2 times to a little tag kind of thing of progression D. That's where you're going to be all out strumming. So make sure you're really using that wrist and it's floppy and doing those little strums so that you really don't run out of steam. Then we get into the choruses. And so the chorus opens up with the intro, so doing A, progression A, doing progression D, which is where you'll really start picking up the strumming, to progression C, to progression D. Then you reach progression E, which you do 2 times, and that's where you go back into just doing the down strums on each chord change. So you'll do progression E at the end 2 times. Then the final part you'll need to know is the bridge, and so that is progression C to progression D 2 times, and the entire time the bridge is strummed. And that in total is the entire song. Thank you so much for watching. I ultimately hope this tutorial helped you out. This song is super fun to play. Make sure you work on that right hand, as it is super quick, so make sure you play with the playthrough, which you can find in the link in the description. And if you haven't, grab those free chord charts, my little gift to you. And comment down below, what other Josiah Queen songs would you like? Because this entire album is a banger. I'll catch you next time. Take care.